ideally on these here, I would have a hammer arrestor extending up. I totally forgot to do that. It was just a bit of a brain gap. So I'm going to remove these, throw that on, put all this back together. So welcome back one and all to the channel where we are attempting and so far succeeding at converting an old hoarder house into a family home. So where we left off before, I got this in, and you know, looking at this, I really kind of wish I put that P-trap up. I didn't think I had the space at first. Now I'm no, I don't really think I did. I didn't want to take this 2x4 out. So, I mean, ideally I would have had that up a little higher and tap in from the top, but I just don't think it would have happened all that well. I got to drop the ceiling down in this room just a little bit anyway, so it's not the end of the world. So all that's left here, I got to tap this line in from this crazy little junction area over to here, and that's all ready to go. So once that's done, we're getting real close to finishing up all the plumbing work. That was the biggest job left. So after that, I want to take off all this insulation. I haven't checked any of this hot line yet, and I want to just double check that there's no more bursts or anything. And I know there's a section over here. This is one of the, over here, this is one of the first things I found where it's just, the solder joint was just frozen right off. So there's a good section over here I just want to replace anyway. I got plenty of copper to do that. And then over here, I want to clean this up because these lines won't even be going here in the end anyway. I'm going to route these elsewhere for the plumbing for the washing machine. It's going to be going probably somewhere close to the plug, right around here. It's going to be separate from the sink. I haven't talked to Xana about how we're laying this out yet. I would kind of like the sink over here. The only issue that I could see is how on earth am I going to route that drain line? I don't feel like busting up concrete, so we're probably going to keep the sink over here somewhere. But I'll figure that out when I get to it. I don't need that for right now, but one thing I do want is this line removed, and it's into this old plastic piping. Now the problem with this is these pipes are brittle enough, and it's still a bit chilly in here. I want to be very careful that I don't crack anything, because if I crack this, that's going to be a bit of extra work, because this is the old Schedule 30 pipe, which means it's skinnier than the stuff I'd be using. So I'd have to take it back a little further. I'd have to add more fittings. I don't know how on earth I would loosen that up enough, because it's tied in pretty tough at the wall and over here. So I want to be very, very careful while I'm removing this fitting, and then I'm just going to throw a little cap in there, something like this, and that should be fine. So once that's all done, we'll just head upstairs, and that's not a big job really. I mean, the work I was doing with the drain last time was way more work than any of that. I'm gonna whiz right through it. So over here in the back, I just have to extend this line to over here and have it stub out the wall. And then these here, I believe somebody commented after I was putting them in, and they were absolutely right. I made a mistake. So ideally on these here, I would have a hammer arrestor extending up. I totally forgot to do that. It was just a bit of a brain gap. So I'm going to remove these, throw that on, put all this back together, and it should be something like this. I like using the 3/4 line for the hammer arrestor. It's just a little more effective. It's not completely necessary, but that's how I like doing it. And then I just got to finish mounting this, and then heading back into the basement, I'm just going to throw some brackets on the piping, just make sure it's nice and solid, and we're good to go. Should be able to have all that done today. I don't know, sometimes I get high hopes and then I don't know, I get demotivated, but I should be able to get it done. At any rate, that's the plan. So I've already got the building inspector coming by. He hasn't been by yet, but if I get this done in time, I'll just have him inspect the plumbing while he's at it, and we might have that rough in as well, which would be really cool. And if I get yeah, I just need little bit more work on the cold air return, and I can cover everything with drywall. Now I do have to get the insulation up and inspected, the bats, prior to throwing the drywall in, so one way or another I have another inspection in between, so it's not a big deal. I plan on having all 4 done for the rough-in phase prior to getting the drywall on. So let's get to it. So it's close to sloping there. I got a little bit of work to do on that yet, but I'm going to get that when I get to buttoning up the rest of these pipes. I'm going to throw hangers on it and make sure it's consistent all the way back. One of the pipes has backfall right now, so that's what I'm trying to get out. I just have to be level or better with this pipe. Water won't rest on something level, so worst case scenario, that's where I'm going. But because of where the vent pipe was, I couldn't really go any higher than that. That was kind of my max. But I can make this work. I can drop down the other side and it'll be good. So we'll get started by getting all this ready. So I'm gonna remove these. This bracket I should actually be able to just twist off and put it back on. All right, cool. right, so that takes care of the bathroom. That's all done and out of the way, thank goodness, because if there's something I would like approved sooner than later, it's so I can cover up everything in the bathroom. In the basement, I don't really care if it takes a little longer, because it's going to remain exposed until a further inspection. It doesn't have to be done in order to get drywall upstairs, so that's a plus. So that's all ready to go up there. I think I just have a little bit to address with the cold air return, and then I'm pretty much good to go, but I'll get that when I get the insulation inspected. So heading down in the basement here, I got the hot line that I haven't really addressed at all yet. Not this one, sorry. This one. So the first thing I got to do is remove all this insulation, get a good look underneath. I want to see what this pipe looks like before I throw any water in it. Right now it's all pretty dry, and that's a benefit, and I plan to use that to my advantage. As you can see, this is what it's like trying to get a good angle for the camera. You know, I got to find a place. Hopefully it's out of the way. Right there is fine. All right, let's get to it. Done just like that. Alright, just going to open this slowly. Alright, I'm going to go look around real quick. Alright, so didn't actually get around to finishing everything up, but it's getting late. I got to get home. So I got another full day of work tomorrow, and tomorrow's another day to get more done. So till then, we'll see ya. But before I go, just remember to hit that that subscribe button, the like button, all the buttons. There's all kinds of buttons on there. They don't do you any harm to hit them, but they certainly do me a lot of good. So if you wouldn't mind, just check off some of those buttons, and we'll see you in the next one. Till then, bye.